All right, welcome back for the second game of the doubleheader between Usedbow and Sphere-FUnity. Game 1 was very fun, very exciting. Boots at 1 minute. Very happy for everybody involved, and a sword. And yeah, we're back here with Julo. That's right, Julo and P-Train taking on, hopefully going to get some revenge versus Mike, who was there for game 1, and swapping out for Gem. We have Telethar as the third member of their team, and it should be. But we got pretty much very similar crew. I'm Claire Mouse, joined with me, of course, the third member of Team Usedbow, and tracking for us really is commentator easy mode for us, Nervin Dorsch and Pichu. Gem, how's it going? How did you feel about game 1?
I felt excellent finding those boots sub 1 minute. I got to play the game, so I'm happy. And now I'm ready to watch these guys play the game too, hopefully.
Do you think your teammates took any lessons from game 1?
I don't know why you think they'd learn any lessons. I don't see anything about Sphere 1 on any of these file names. So okay, I don't think I learned anything.
Well, see, I thought maybe Mike was making a reference to Team Sphere-FUnity. You know, Funity is kind of the same thing as 1, right? Maybe even 0?
Yes. Sphere-FUnity.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so we do actually see Julo and P-Train having a slightly different start as the first time. The first game, I think Wall Kicks, the commentator for game 1, had correctly observed that Julo started Link's house, didn't open Link's house, so they just went to South Shore, and was very fortunate to buy some bombs on the rupee crab.
Yeah, I mean, this time there were 300 rupees in Link's house, so obviously we're gonna open it so we can buy bombs and go to Saha instead. I think he's doing everything right. And yeah, Mike last time also started going to Uncle, but since we found the money, he's also going right to Saha, probably Eastern, so we can buy bombs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually do see. I'm talking to somebody in, Saha, Dark Palace, Palace of Darkness is our green pendant today. Yeah, both very good knowledge for pendants and crystals in this mode, since the mode is duality, it is co-op. Each person on the team has a different goal. One is going to be getting all 3 pendants and pulling pedestal. The other person is going to be collecting 5 crystals and defeating Ganon. So pretty important to know, in this case, which dungeons you want to target.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, nice thing is, well, we know that pot is definitely going to be cleared today. Because at least one person on each team needs to clear all the pendants.
And yes, I also liked it how in game 1 everybody had different degrees of bow ownership. I believe you had 0. P-Train, I believe had 2, and then the remaining other people had 1. So now,
yeah, different bows too, right? Which is funny.
Yes, yes. Now, Jem, how alarmed are you right now by the fact that there are no boots to be found in the first 2 minutes of the game?
Yeah, their C is obviously worse than game 1, so I'm glad I played game 1, gonna be honest.
Now, I do see a flute on Telethar's inventory. That is great progressions from what happened 2 hours ago.
You know, I'm just gonna say it. I'd rather have boots first item and flute go mode than have flute first item and boots go mode.
Very fair and understandable. Yeah, and I also do notice a lack of weaponry. Again, granted, we're only a couple minutes into the seed, but you know, compare and contrast. We had boots and sword very early in the game 1, and then here, okay, we got a shovel, we got a Quake medallion, we got a Thieves Town compass. Okay, you know what? I don't think you guys have found that. This is the better seed.
It is not. There's still no boots. Sorry.
Thieves Town compass will guide us to the boots. It is a compass after all.
Gotcha. You also got a Harabiki, which that's usually a pretty early dungeon you can clear. As long as you find, well, Mountain Axes you're gonna find, but as long as you find a mirror or hookshot hammer. So finding a Biki is kinda nice. Maybe. Unless we find the hookshot immediately. We'll see.
Yeah. The mountain access, especially for Hera, you mentioned that it is we can have, it's usually fairly accessible. Now, whether or not you actually want to go there without, let's say, a mirror is maybe a little bit more debatable because it is quite the long trek over. But again, the game doesn't necessarily care about your convenience or your preferences. It just cares about whether it's logical or not. But as you do see, do not be alarmed at the top of your screens. It is pitch black, and not from any mosaic shenanigans or anything like that. It is because we're in the dark room, and looks like Julo, and Mike are both going after Eastern Palace Bikicha. Despite that, we don't have the lamp.
Well, we do have the lamp.
We have the lamp. Oh, Telethar and Peach
There's
have
logic.
it. Never mind. Okay, yes. Never mind. Yeah, let's see. Okay, just 3 bombs, so not kind of the opposite of game 1-2. The loadout for Eastern was so high, and this one's just kind of
Like almost died trying to
yes.
pick up that part.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just mental damage. There's no physical damage. Okay, Telethar is walking back to Maze Race.
We have to shovel.
Oh,
there was nothing on the race.
Okay.
It was just an inferior compass, but we do have to shovel, so it's
yeah. We don't need to pick up any more compasses. We already got the good one.
Yeah, this is Sphere-FUnity on the VT branch, so we're bound to see more compasses and maps early.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did forget about that. Right. So it had maybe less relevance in terms of being able to beat all your crystals. However, you do bring up a good point. Logically speaking, the map and compass have to show up to a dungeon before you can beat it. So yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why in this case the BT branch has maybe a little bit more front-loaded maps and compasses, just because, well, you need them in order to go beat the dungeon. Yeah, but we're definitely looking for more maps.
It's very funny that the moment Telethar is done with Khaki flutes to Megan.
Oh, I'm sure there were no lessons that we need to remember from game 1, of course. Yeah. Yeah, but
we saw a Blicky on the desert ledge. There was nothing in Agana, but we do have Blicky knowledge now.
Oh no, Peach forgot to activate the. Oh no! Yeah, Peach walking back. Thank you, Pichu. Yeah, this is another one of those doesn't feel great moments. It's not the end of the world because you caught it at least, somewhat kind of in time, maybe. But yeah, it never feels really great to have to walk back over Kakariko just to activate the food.
Yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate for Telethar, I think, because Julo just found the bow in Map Chest of Eastern, of Fyro Castle, sorry. Which will make it a lot nicer for him, for sure, but also Telethar is here on 2 bombs, so I don't think he'll continue into the castle and leave instead, so he's gonna leave that bow for a little bit.
It's okay. No, oh no, he's walking. Oh no, he has a flute. So
yeah, we're fluting, I think.
But we have seen though that even though if you leave the bow for forever, you can still pull out a victory for the race. Although maybe it looks like we are gonna. Oh no, we're doing pure. Oh, see,
okay.
See, what is the problem?
Okay. We had a
plan.
We had a plan all along.
Okay, see, Peter even remembered that there was tier 1 as well. I did not know that. And I also see that Telethar is also rushing Dark Cross. This is something that I believe also could have been a former lesson that was still in progress of being taught.
I don't know how I feel about this. You could find the small key in Map Chest. No, well, yeah, I guess so. But it's Key Sanity, so you probably won't. But still, it sucks to death warp out of there, so I don't know. I feel like you might still want to just death warp from Bonchain instead. I guess the idea is you might find a weapon here.
Oh, this is called small. Okay. Oh, well, it looks like we're not going to do the front of escape. We're just going to do just Dark Cross.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I do see actually a good amount of coverage being made by both Mike and Telethar and Julo and P-Train. Like, lots of Sphere 1 locations being uncovered. It looks like maybe Julo is he in Dark Cross or is he doing? Okay, yeah. Looks like he's trying to echolocate with the bow and shooting a bunch of stuff that hopefully may or may not stick, but very well done to be able to get the skull small out of Dark Cross.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate that the guy without the lamp ended up going to Dark Cross, but
that is what usually happens, apparently. Yeah, actually, the people without the lamp initially was like, oh yeah, I guess we're gonna do Easy Palace Big Chest. Yeah, we'll go do Dark Cross. Just like, okay, we'll just do all this in logic. Because your partner found the lamp, right? So now all the stuff is in logic, so you have to go do this now.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been unreasonable for Joel to just go to CAC first thing, because first thing after he sent, since he knew about the flute. We find a glove up here in Spectral Cave.
Okay. Good use of the flute.
Yeah, that opens up Back of Escape and not really much else. Zora, in theory. But we have money.
I love Zora. Yes, apparently. Yes, we are flush with cash. It's like, except for Julo for some reason.
Must be nice. It's probably in CAC. We found a hookshot in Moldom Cave, so we also have East Step Mountain now. That's pretty nice and dense.
Oh, the swamp small too? Okay. Oh, that's actually quite nice to be able to have early swamp access. Well, maybe it depends on your perspective as how you feel about Swamp Palace, but having access to a full dungeon basically is still pretty nice. Barring mirror and flippers and etc.
It definitely gets us closer to swamp, that's for sure.
Yes. Back of Escape. We have bombs. More bombs. Maybe more beneficial for Telethar, although it did look like Mike was also lacking some. So at least we get a little bit more refill. Yeah, actually, and I also noticed Telethar going into Mini Moldorm Cave with 5 bombs, which is doable. However, that being said, it might be a little bit dicey if we didn't have any other ammunition, but Telethar took it off pretty well, only using 4 bombs.
We're using our last bomb to bomb jump Spike Rock here. So he's gonna try to get bombs from these rocks. I hope he's going to be successful. Okay.
I'm sure he'll be great. And then presumably
just getting one.
Go buy bombs? Yeah.
I guess so. That's that. If he only grabs one, that's the plan, because you need more than one otherwise. Since you have to bomb open the bottom and you have to hit the switch with a bomb, since we don't have any other projectile.
Yeah, sword beams would be quite nice, huh?
Or the bow.
Or the bow, that's right. The bow right now is sitting pretty in Hyrule Castle map chest, which everybody... Well, both teams have been to Hyrule Castle, and it looks like everyone's gone to Dark Cross, but Mike and Telethar have not been to the Front of Escape yet.
Yeah, I assume actually the reason... Nice Pearl in Paradox. I assume the reason why Telethar didn't want to do Front of Escape is because he would use up all his bombs and then he wouldn't be able to do Mini Moldorm Cave anymore. And that was probably the priority for him, since Front of Escape is only 1 check in logic without the small key to Hyrule Castle. Which unfortunately for them is progression.
Oh, but man, talking about progression though.
Sure.
Did you say Pearl also Paradox? We have hammer and a sword? Yes, sword is progression. Fight me.
Yes, sword is progression and necessary.
For both runners, by the way, not just for the Ganon person.
Yes.
I wonder also, I mean, I know that there's been a lot of dualities, but I do actually wonder in the course of the 2 previous tournaments for duality as well, in addition, of course, of League Week, like, has anybody actually pulled pedestal without a weapon? No, without a bow, without a sword? I guess it's probably not, but then again, yeah, exactly, it can happen. Very convenient hammer, also. Just the fact that we now have access to Hera, which Telethar is in right now. You mentioned also, right, that we have the Hera big key from the well, and yeah, we have flippers. Another part of our swamp care package.
Clemens really wants us to go to swamp today. Are you smelling the boots?
Well, no. In fact, I'm actually watching where Julo is going right now. Maybe the boots are on. The king instead.
I have my doubts. There's never anything on this guy.
This has been consistent every single time we watch Julo race on stream. You gotta watch where he goes, because wherever he goes, regardless of how how far away, how isolated the check is, it always is something good. And in this case, it's not quite the boots, but I mean, you can't really complain too much about half magic. Julo also went to go get the bow from Hyrule Castle map chest. He got the bow off of Zora from first game when everyone was flat broke.
It looks like Zora's overheading too. Swimming out from Hobo here. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
we
if
should-
it's faster to swim out there or just save and quit and flute to 8 and fake flipper again. Probably slightly faster to swim, but
Yeah. Yeah, a little unfortunate actually for Julo because he doesn't have the pearl from Paradox. Yeah, that's where Peach. I mean, they don't know it yet. But even with fake flipper, like because you don't have the pearl, you can't get waterfall. So it is going to be a little bit of an isolated check location. But you know, presumably P-Train will, after not getting dead rocks again, will be able to get it. Hera is a pendant apparently. Did you see what dropped on Moldo?
no.
Okay.
But wait, oh,
just a map.
Okay, I was-
map to thieves.
actually I did see that. I just immediately forgot. Okay, Mike is just leaving because for now they decided Telethor's gonna be the pendant guy.
I think that's
The
very
mic's outta here.
reasonable. Yeah, and if again, if we need to go back to Hera, yeah, it can be a bit of a longer trek, but again, it's also maybe something that if you don't have to go do, then you know we never have to come back. And Mike's already got the thing of value, which is the flippers.
Yeah, the rest in there was junk. Don't really care about the maps because, well, you do care about the maps, but only one person needs to have it. They
Yeah,
can
and that
relay the
person,
information.
as long as that person is willing to do a map check, then yes, that person who has the maps, then that's what we need to care about. Speaking of more money. Ooh, Spiral Cave has a big key to Ice Palace. Could be pretty useful.
Great. You love seeing that.
Until that Bombos Medallion or Fire Rod shows up, I am not worried. And when it does, then we start asking the question, is this enough for Ice Palace? I mean, then looking at their loadout, it's not maybe great. It's not, but it could be better, but it also could be a lot worse. Okay, maybe not a lot.
Yeah, they could
worse.
only have 3 hearts.
Exactly. I was gonna say maybe the bar threshold isn't as far as I might think it is.
Yeah, the weird thing about his Ice Pass big here is that Mike is definitely the one that should go to Ice. So they're kind of hoping that the eventual Fire Rod or Bombos find is gonna turn out that way. Because like Telethor is not gonna go back for that Spiral Cave unless he knows he needs that big key.
Exactly. Yeah, but right now, Ice Palace is also, you know, despite not having the Fire Rod or Bombos or some sort of fire to get in, we are still lacking those myths. Kind of a minor detail, again, that we are gated by.
Mike showed us there was nothing in the waterfall, so Julo didn't miss
that's
anything
nice.
there.
Yeah, see, when Julo skips something, you know it's nothing, and then when Julo goes after something, you know it's something. Yeah, we'd also dug up Ether in digging. That could be another medallion of importance, or it could just be nothing. Turtle Rock and Mire. We may not have to go to either. We may have to go to both. Having the flute, and when we eventually get the meds, we can get a little bit more knowledge to see whether or not Mike needs to spend the time digging.
Yeah, and well, it could also just be a pendant, and if they decided Telethor's a pendant guy, that's another reason why Mike could just skip the Ether. Alright. It's kind of awkward right now with how the left side is going to split up the Dark World. Telethor already did Hype Cave to the game and it didn't really give anything that reprogresses them, so now he's in the village. But Mike just like did some cleanup that's not Dark World to give Telethor time to find things. But he hasn't really found anything yet, and now they're both headed to the village. Mike probably to Scoreboards. I'm gonna do similar checks here, but at the same time, this is probably where the progression is, because there isn't really much left.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Mike is also the one who picked up the Skull Smoky from Dark Cross, right? So, this is Lost Woods check, by the way? Maybe?
Telethor has the Smoky, actually. This is...
Oh, right. Telethor was the one who went to Dark Cross. Yeah, you're right.
I have no idea. Oh, we haven't gotten this one. Okay.
Oh, it's a pot key. Gotcha.
I understand. I thought, is Mike lost? What is happening?
Well, he is in the Lost Woods.
Hmm.
Okay, yes, all right. I have no excuse. It's noon. Although my excuse is I just woke up again because I went back to bed after the first broadcast. I know. I'm sorry, Pichu.
Finally, everybody's awake, including Clemens, so we're all happy. We found a Master Sword in Thief's Town. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's very beneficial. More swords, more better.
We love swords.
You know what would be even more better?
Boots.
Yes. Either color I'm okay with.
Mhm.
The blue ones don't exist in this mode, but the red ones, I'm sure anybody involved will be appreciative. Now, and I did mention before that at least watching some of these restreams, Observation Bias told me that you either get the boots extremely early or you never get them, and I'm kind of hoping that this is just one of those seeds that you get later and kind of outside of the band.
Yeah.
For once, if we had the boots hint, because sometimes in some modes like Ambrosia, the uncle gives you like the boots hint. It's kind of, you know, it's a fairly big hint. You know, like, oh, Link, the boots are in Light World, or Link, the boots are, you know, behind bombs or something, right? But sometimes when you get the message that, hey, Link, the boots are in GT, for this mode, it's actually not bad. In the other modes, you're just very sad.
You wouldn't need to forfeit. And we found a mirror in the brewery. So that opens up a couple jacks for Teletor right now.
Yeah, good thing he already did the south part of the game, and so then he doesn't have to go back to K40. Well, he has to go back to K45. But yeah, with the mirror, maybe Mike can also do some things. Maybe K40 will just get put off when and if Mike has to go to the game. Yeah, but we're gonna get a couple more checks.
Yeah.
Julo rushing pod.
With their 1 key, right? It's 1 key, yeah.
Yes, this actually happened in game 1 as well. Julo was actually the first one into pod with only 1 key. I think he went back on 2 keys, and then P-Train apparently, like during the interview, he said that he was trying to convince Julo to go back a 3rd time with more keys. So, yeah, pod certainly could be. I mean, and they got a sword out of it before, and a skull with small keys, I believe. Maybe it was Turtle Rock small keys. I mean, it was still certainly valuable.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I feel like pod you generally want to have at least 2 keys unless you just don't have anything left. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll find something.
Yeah, so far just 3 bombs in shooter room, so nothing that exciting. We do have the bow on Julo and P-Train side, because they're the ones who actually still know about the bow. With the higher aggressive small key, maybe Mike is more incentivized to go back eventually. There is a little bit more stuff to go do over there, especially having the knowledge that there's a mirror in brewery. So if we go to, let's say, Pyramid, we can do the front of Hyrule Castle, we can do the first chest of Castle Tower. With that Master Sword that we're going to get in Thief's Town. Maybe we can even hold off and try to wait out for another Castle Tower key so we can full clear the place.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, it's gonna be interesting with Mike this year. Telethon is in Swamp, which makes sense. That's like the one big thing that's open now. That's a clearable dungeon. It's gonna be interesting what they decide for Mike to do. He might walk south and get K45, but maybe flew to pod.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Mike can mimic clip pretty quickly. I guess it just kind of maybe depends on what you think the value is of pod, especially with that second pod small key.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For them, pod is actually a lot better now.
Yeah, Julo unfortunately has to kind of go around. This is the consequence of only coming in with 2 keys and
1 key, yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah, I think
right,
he's
1
gonna...
key.
I think he's doing right side twice, so are we doing big key chest here?
Maybe we're doing big key chest into...
Okay, we're doing big key chest, okay. Yeah, I don't hate it. You have to do the right side anyway. So if you're on 1 key, might as well squeeze this extra check in.
We have a competent
Yeah.
Desert Palace. Ooh, Desert Palace is locked by 6 pod smokies.
With that swapping out, okay, that's a bit surprising. We are walking to Pyramid Catfish from here.
I guess we are. Yeah, this must be. Otherwise, I would presume that you could just save and quit and then flute to somewhere else. Although, is it still? Maybe it's still not faster to save and quit, flute to dark to blue 5 and then go into Dark World from there, or blue 4 and go into the Pyramid Catfish the normal way.
Yeah, I guess this is probably very slightly faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Changing
I
of
feel
the
like
guard?
I feel like you should never walk out of pod. If you walk out of pod, it's just sadness.
Is it because we're normally going to Catfish?
It's because we're walking out of pod. It takes so forever.
That's true. We don't even have boots. We're literally walking out. Also, hello GFE. Welcome to watching your teammates walk through the seed. Happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Don't worry, you didn't miss much. For what it's worth. Alright, what's here on the pyramid? I don't know. Oh, but Jilla's gonna get it. Okay, it's just 20 rupees.
Okay. I'm sure he has a plan with that.
He was one who went to Zora and found out it was nothing. And so, I guess with some extra cash, you can do chess game and dig game without having to farm up any extra rupees from somewhere. That's at least something.
But we know that's not anything.
Right, but I don't think
Well,
I don't think Julo and Petre know that, right?
I'm pretty sure P-Train already went to the game.
Oh, right.
Or
Peach
also
and
was
Peach
in
yeah, yeah,
the
that's
village,
true. I
so.
see the ether on there. That is a yellow thing on bumper ledge. Small key, big key.
It's Smoky.
Smoky,
Smoky. Telephone,
okay.
checked it earlier.
Okay. Did we find anything, by the way, speaking of Telethar and Swamp?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Which doesn't necessarily mean we didn't find anything, but I don't think we have.
I don't see anything really notable on the tracker, so I will just think that, oh, never mind. There is a big key to Thieves Town. And the Myths,
And Myths.
okay?
Okay.
And there's Samaria on Catfish.
Oh, baby. Alright, we...
See,
Oh.
Julo somehow knows what to do. Every single time. There's this like random one-off thing. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go walk out of pod. I'm gonna go to Pyramid Catfish. Like, okay. we'll find Samaria. Wait,
do you know who doesn't know what to do? Telethon apparently doesn't know that you're not supposed to press mirror in the middle of a dungeon.
I see. Okay, it's good. It's good that we're learning live. That's how that's how when the lessons have the most impact. So hopefully you'll remember it the next time that you're in a dungeon. Yeah, and armed with this Catfish knowledge, P-Train very understandably, after he finished up the North Dark World stuff like Graveyard Ledge, Cape Bumper Ledge, he is just gonna go directly over to Catfish. Now, the Cane of Samaria may not necessarily still be a hard required item. It is certainly looking like it would give us a lot of access. Like we could beat Meyer with it. We can get all of Turtle Rock with it. We can get Right Side GT. Not to mention, of course, some of this other stuff, right? Like Diver Down, being able to use the Samaria, Icebreaker, Pod, all this other stuff, right? It's just very useful.
Yeah, and especially that now that we have the myths available. Not that Julo and P-Train have them yet, but soon, surely. We really like the Cane since GT is on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, we do need to beat one crystal.
Well, we'll see which
But
crystal
we-
is, or what. Oh, no, Swamp's crystal. Okay.
Oh yeah, right. Swamp's a crystal. And we also have decent bag. So yeah, we have two of it. Yeah, Mike very understandably on his way to Swamp now because that's where all the progression lies.
That's where some of the progression lies. That's somewhere where the hard progression lies.
That is
Yes.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Is this gonna make it part of the team document as to what to not last locate? You know, Sphere 1, don't last locate Sphere 1. Catfish? I don't know if
I
that'll
think we're
make
just
it
gonna
to
amend it to don't last locate the progression.
don't last locate the progression. Okay. All right, everybody write that down. It is great advice for any mode.
I wonder what they're gonna do after this one. Well, one of them is definitely going to Darkness Mountain and GT. That's a given. Maybe one of them could walk Permit Catfish. I kind of doubt it though. We also have Maya area, desert.
Oh,
It's like-
yeah, that's true. We do have Maya area. That can also be... It could be a distraction. It also could be, like, you know, still, again, necessary progression or very nice to have items. For example, if you go over the Maya area and you find boots, whether or not it's required or not, I don't care. By the way, another thing about not having Samaria is that while Mike somehow has like 10 hearts or something, he only has 2 active ones. And we did have to spend one of those, I guess initially 3, in order to do Bomb Diver down.
Yep, we have
Or sorry, Specky Clip?
never down now.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then, yes, we only have 1 heart in this case to spare for Bomb Diver down in this part.
Nope, we have 2 now.
Never mind.
Did you see, by the way, what Jolo found in K45?
No,
Tell us
what
I did not check after this one.
45? Oh no, what did he
Tempered
find?
sword.
He found tempered, oh great.
Yeah, we have
I don't
even
know
more
how
heights
Jula
there.
does this.
Well, he seems to have a preference for out-of-the-way checks, so... You know, at least 1 or 2 of them are bound to have something. So if he just does them all, he's gonna find something. Find a big key to Meyer. Oh. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yes, considering we can get in. It is Quake for Meyer. I don't know if Telthar wants to get in. He does have access, which is the hook shots. We just can't beat it without the King of Samaria from Catfish. Oh, it's Pod Big Key too. Okay, my area is certainly very, very fruitful. Got a lot of goodies here. But again, we don't really have a complete picture yet as to what our crystals and dungeons are. And also, kind of related to that, we don't really have a clear picture as to who is going to be the one collecting all 3 pendants and pulling pedestal, and who is going to be collecting 5 crystals and defeating Ganon. Yeah, because I actually remember correctly, like you and Mike first game, and also Julo and P-Train, there was actually a lot of pivoting mid-game. Like you guys, I think, switched maybe like 2 or 3 times, whether or not who was going to do what.
Yeah, for Talitha and Mike right now, they... Oh, that was a nice one on Argus, by the way. But Talitha and Mike right now, they kind of have a little bit of direction because Mike didn't pick up the pendant in Hera. But then again, Hera is so fast to clear, it basically doesn't matter. If they want to pivot, that's just fine. For Julo and P-Train, they both killed Moldon. So for them, it's really open. So who does what?
Alright, yeah. Teller also fighting Berna in Cave in Checkerboard Cave. So that means the Spy Cave is now open and available. Hooray. Yeah, but we still do see some. This is have some similarities to game 1. Julo and P-Train have a few key items that Mike and Telethar currently do not. Namely, they have the bow from Hyrule Castle map chest, which there is still some incentive for Telethar and Mike to go back there to get. But then also they have King of Samaria from Catfish, and that one might be a little bit further out.
You know what's funny? I think map chest in Hyrule Castle is the last 3-1 location for Talitha and Mike.
No. Wait, well, what? Okay, like Hyrule Castle, you mean, right? Yes.
Well,
it's okay.
Anything beyond map chest in Hyrule Castle is not 3-1 anymore.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
It's literally just a map chest, and that's hilarious to me. Since they wanted to not do that.
Should we post the image again?
Yes. So Mike picked up the tempered sword in K45, except it was the gold sword, so I assume he must have missed a sword in board. Yeah, Josh, he did pick that up. It's just not Sphere-1. That's what I was saying. It's definitely illogical.
Yeah. Also, kind of similar to game 1. We saw that Julo and P-Train were in Swamp kind of around the same time, but in this case, both of them had very good reason to be. Since we found Big and Mitz in the back of Swamp, and yeah, I think you're pretty close already at that point. When you're in Flooded Room, you may as well just go in, beat this dungeon. It's a crystal, and it'll get you into GT, as you said, which looks like that's where Julo's going. Especially armed with the Cane of Samaria, we can get a peek to see what is Turtle Rock if we can get in. Checking the front, especially with only one small key, I think it seems pretty reasonable.
It seems to be bombos though, so
okay.
Can't get in right now. That was our first true GT. Gonna show us what's here.
Hopefully boost. It is very dense. That being said, we cannot do the right side of GT, so that is 5 checks not available to Telethar, because we can't do anything beyond Hope Room. But Julo presumably will get this.
Yeah, he can sequence break the right side with the lamp if he wants to.
Mike is also pummeling every chicken that is in his path.
Apparently he hates chickens. There's a smoky and a torch, which we can't get. And that's true for both of them. Both of the scenes.
It's true. Ooh. Alright, Smith Chain. Whether or not you want to count hammer pecks as part of that, does seem to yield a fire rod. Suddenly, the Turtle Rock care package has grown a little bit. Also, Skullwoods. Oh, look, there's the other bow.
maybe just get bailed out.
Yeah, forget Sphere-1. Although, I think we've... Your team is your business. However, Mike may want to consider looking at this. But yeah, there's a bow in Stealth Room in GT, which means that we may not have to go to the front of Escape in order to go get our silvers. Now, that being said, though, while Mike and Telethar have a bow available for them, to be Eastern, to do pod, etc., the person who does go into GT, in this case Julo, will have silvers, and if he is the Ganon person or a Crystals guy, then he'll have an advantage on the fight. And in addition to whatever other boss fights or things he wants to use silvers for, right? Vitreous, Armos, Helma. That's it.
Yep.
No Lamos.
No. Silvers do nothing on Lamos. No, that is the fire rod.
Yeah, little known fact, by the way. Lamos are impervious to silver, so don't even try. Another pod key. Okay.
Big key to Eastern.
Big key Eastern.
Okay.
Alright. Very convenient with that bow that we picked up.
Out of Eastern. Yeah. Yeah, Mike was the one that went to the back of pod, so Telethar can clear pod right now.
Yeah, and I guess both teams already went to Eastern Pod's Big Key chest, so there's only really just 2 items of value, plus whatever the prize is for Eastern. Julo is also showing us some new technique, using the hookshot. Nobody's told me that you can use the hookshot in this room.
The hookshot is dangerous. That's why I don't like using it.
Dangerous. I see. Julo, I guess. I mean, we've seen him on Restream many times. He is he does like to live on the edge. Every single edge check that exists in this world, he has done.
Right. So looks like we're skipping Compass Room though, without the fire rod.
Oh man, Lana. Lana, you're too good for me.
And the problem with the hookshot is if you mistime your hookshot and you hook too early so you don't hit the tile, you're stuck in hookshot animation. And while you're stuck, the hand might drop down and grab you. That's my reason why I don't like using it there.
All right, Telethar did Ice Armos. Nothing really of note, I think. We found a Myers small key. That could still be useful. I mean, granted, like, the fact that the Canis Maria is in Catfish and available for everybody, then Meyer is looking pretty good as a clear. You know what is not clear, though, on the upper left-hand side of the screen? Do not be
I don't
alarmed.
know. I can see the game clear as day.
Were you able to catch the blind
Clear
pump?
as mouse. No, that's because I never pay attention.
Oh, okay. I understand. Did you
we
happen to
found-
catch what smoky that was?
No.
I'm sure it's not important. We already got the smoky.
well,
That's the
we'll
only one
see
we care about.
Maybe it's CT.
Ooh. Castle Tower would be pretty interesting. Hopefully, Castle Tower would be the thing that kind of pushes Mike and Telethar back over to Pyramid and Hyrule Castle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really see how they get to Catfish at all.
Yeah,
Maybe
we've already
for
done
Big
Graveyard
Bomb.
Ledge. Yeah, we've already done Graveyard Ledge. We've already done Pyramid area. So, and we've already done Zora. Oh, Nervendeutsch pointing out we do have 5/6 spread bomb. That's true. That's another opportunity to go over there. Do we happen to know what the 5/6 crystals are? We do. Oh, it's Swamp and Thieves. Oh, okay.
Swamp and
Thieves. That is.
Yeah, that might be Mike's next thing, but for now he's gonna do Crystal Dungeon. And yeah, right now they're probably thinking Mike is the Crystal guy, Telethar's the Pendant guy. He has the Hera Pendant, he's about to clear Pod, which is a Pendant. Hopefully Eastern is a Pendant. He just lost Kiki.
Why did we lose Kiki?
Because he mirrored instead of...
Oh!
Getting
Okay.
Kiki, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I guess maybe Telethar isn't gonna do much more in Pod. Unless maybe he's trying to hope that there is a Pod small key maybe in Eastern that can help him out, get one more check in the back or something.
I think that's probably the idea.
Yeah, no Canis Mari for
maybe-
Mike.
We do have a small key, luckily. So it's less bad to not have it.
And we actually get to see some nice NMG content. Being able to
I don't
bomb
know,
jump. Although
This doesn't look at all like NMG to me. He's...
Yeah.
Why is he not dashing?
I was exactly going to say that. He has Gold Sword, which you don't really get in NMG because Gold Sword is locked behind the 5/6 crystals in the original game, but also you don't really have boots to... I don't know if you use boots to like buffer or anything, or like do any type of lineup here, but you definitely don't get that if you're in this season.
I do the dash turn lineup for IPVJ, and whenever I can't do that, I'm in shambles.
It's okay. Boots will turn up any minute now. Okay, we got a pod key off of blind. I did catch that, and we got bombos in Eastern Palace Big Chest. So that is a way into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's interesting. We are still missing the big key and 2 small keys, so TR is still a bit far away.
Okay, so that we can get a mystery key off the bumper ledge now. Mike just picked up the cape in map chest.
Yay.
Yeah, looks like Julo is going back into pod. Trip number 2. Honestly, we should just give Julo this like frequent flyer card for Palace of Darkness because I don't know, maybe on the 10th time you get a free key.
That would be nice. Just dip pod a bunch and then you can...
Exactly. I mean, the game already, is pretty generous with having a small key of this dungeon for pod, right? And just maybe make it an extra incentive to come back here more often. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a big run, Amos.
Yeah, exactly. So back up Eastern is certainly more valuable than the front of Eastern. And for those of you who refuse to go into Eastern Palace without the big key and the bow, you are rewarded for this scene.
Yeah, Eastern, maybe unfortunate for Telethar, is a crystal. Because he wants to do dependence, I think. But maybe Desert is dependent. I mean, we know Desert is dependent. It's always dependent, so.
It was definitely a pendant last game. Uh-huh. Yeah, but it really does look like right now we're still missing a good amount of progression, or to be able to definitively say like, okay, we can clear XYZ dungeons, and then also we're not still sure what the last pendant is between Turtle Rock and Desert.
And Skull.
Oh, and Skull, right? I forgot about Skull Woods. It's easy to forget about Skull Woods.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that being looked at soon, since we do have the Fire Rod available.
Now, do you think it's possible
and in fact,
for
Train is going there right now, I think.
Do you think it's possible for Gem and for Mike and Telethar to finish the seed without Samaria? I guess if Desert's a pendant.
Yeah, Desert or Skull Woods need to be pendants. If either Maya or Tiara a pendant, then we definitely need the cane. If they're both crystals, we can be able to skip it if the cane doesn't really lock anything. I mean, how many crystals do we have available right now? We have Swamp, Thieves Town Ice, we have Eastern. And then we can beat Skullwoods and Desert, of which one has to be a crystal. So on Mike and Telethar's side, we are in Crystal Go mode, and we're maybe in Go mode if either Skull or Desert are pendants. On Jullo and P-Train's side, we have Ice available, we have Eastern available. Yeah, because Jullo got his Eastern dig out of GT, right? And we'll have Desert available, so it's like the same thing, basically.
Now, P-Train,
except they have Kane, so they also have Maya available. That's their big thing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like P-Train actually decided to leave his portal right outside, I guess, technically the pedestal, but it is the back of Skull Woods. I believe this was mentioned also in Game 1 that they were looking for it's harder to remember the Skullwood small key that you need in Keys Handy in order to go beat Mothula. So yeah, you know, these things happen.
I mean, it looks like Jullo and P-Train know that Maya is a crystal, so we already know that one's not quite for the left side, and it also makes Maya less interesting for the guys on the right side either, as well, because we already have 5 crystals available.
And I guess Maya also is a pretty long dungeon. And I remember it like in Boss Hunt when we were trying to see which dungeons you can kind of skip. Maya was definitely one of the ones up there. Like, I mean, there's always gonna be like Turtle Rock and maybe Swamp, but I think Maya was also top number 3 or 4. But I mean, that being said, if you're trying to look for more stuff, Maya does have 8 checks in there. Again, no, you're not the fastest, but it is pretty dense in terms of dungeons. Yeah,
it's definitely not unlikely for it to have progression towards TR if we need it. But yeah, we're seeing that Telethos right now exploring the dungeons they can clear. He's gonna fight Lamo here. Pray it's a pendant.
He doesn't know how to use the ice rod, right? I've never seen it work. Like, it has maybe like a 25% success rate, honestly. And for all the 10x spice that I've seen, it's pretty unreliable. I think he should go and use the best weapon that he has available to him.
Yeah, that's the bow. I mean, it's also in the contract, like you have to use the bow in our team.
Exactly. Yeah, no fire rod from Hammer Pegs, even though their teammate, Mike, has a fire rod from Hammer Pegs. It's kind of a far trek to go get it.
Yeah, there's no reason for Telethar to pick it up if this is the last pendant. And if this is not a pendant, then he'll pick it up and go beat Skullwoods, hoping that's the pendant.
And unfortunately only with Master Sword compared to Mike's Gold Sword. This is something he really can't cheat by being able to do extra damage on Lambos. Oh wow, dude, that was a lot of hits. Okay.
Yep. And unfortunately, we ran out of arrows, so you gotta use
okay.
the
Yes.
slot spins a little bit and miss the spin.
Oh no. Oh no. It's okay. This will be the last pendant. Guaranteed deserts.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pendant!
Yep,
oh, how did we know? Of course.
Classic desert. Okay. This means left side is in go mode, and so is right side as soon as Jolo picks up his pendant here.
Oh yeah, that means that this is actually very, very quick finish then? Suddenly?
Yeah. I mean, right side is quite a bit ahead here, right?
Telethar is done. He can go pull ped basically immediately, as will Julo be able to do that. But again, so for this mode, contrary to all the other ones. Is what?
Yeah, explain. That's basically what I was.
Oh yeah, right. So this mode is actually last to finish for the team. That is the winning metric. And so even if you finish first by 5 minutes or by 10 minutes or by 2 seconds, doesn't matter. It's only the second person on your team to finish. And so Mike and P-Train are going to be the ones that will probably be the deciding factor for who wins.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, so no, P-Train just realized. Okay. No, actually, Mike is ahead of P-Train, right? Because he just needs to do a quick Skyward's clear and then Eastern. For some reason, I thought P-Train had 4 crystals.
That Tower of Hera is pretty misleading, and it does look like then.
But yeah,
where was
P-Train?
Oh,
Istanbul is in GT. That's where P-Train was headed. But I think then he realized that he can just beat Ice and Mire. So he turned around because he could just beat those dungeons.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. And unfortunately, Mire and well, okay, Ice Palace with Kane is pretty is okay, but Mire itself can be quite an investment, especially compared to you mentioned this case like Eastern and Skull Wizard, two of the shorter dungeons.
Yeah, they're both very quick, so this definitely puts Mike ahead. So Telethar is gonna do something here to help out Mike. He's gonna take the pyramid and maybe map chests.
Maybe map
Iron
chests.
Castle. To try and find silvers. And it's gonna be very funny when he finds the bow.
Are those worth it for Mike to pick up before Ganon? Without boots? Maybe the answer is no?
Honestly, yeah. You have to mirror and then go back into the portal, and you have to walk this without boots. It's probably not worth it. But it's gonna be very funny, at least when Telethar finds us.
That's true, that's true. Here's another Sphere-1 bow that we just kind of left by ourselves. Oh, by the way, Julo did pull pet, so GG. For team Sphere-FUnity. Yeah. And this is, and Telethar mentioned this before, where when you kind of see the first dot done, it's a little bit more tense. Just because, again, like this last to finish metric, you don't really know when the second person's being done, and as opposed to like you see the first person being done, you're like, okay, well, that means I have X amount of buffer, right, before this the other person kind of finishes on your team. So have to kind of see in this case what ends up happening. Yeah, Mike is done with Skullwoods. P-Train on his way to Vitreous.
Yep, and that's a pretty good demonstration of just how much faster Skyward is compared to Mire.
I think you picked the right seat to play, John.
Yes. These poor guys do not have the boots, and they will never have them.
I wonder where they are.
Unless Vitreous. Vitreous is the last chance for P-Train to at least dash.
Yeah, because I guess we did see everything in Mire. Or in Ice Palace, so... Yeah, GG's Telethar. He was also who pulled Pen.
Yeah, GG's Pedders.
Much faster time finish though. again, if you want to use this as your evidence that boots do not save you time, look at the finish times of the seed. Bootsless, it was way faster. It was like 10, 15 minutes faster than game 1, which had boots at minute 1 or something.
Oh yeah, so true. That's literally the only thing that matters.
Exactly. Boots weren't ambitious, right? I didn't see P-Train doing a happy dance.
No.
And also not bonking, so yes.
We're just walking it out all the way to the end.
Very close races, both for game 1 and for game 2. And this one, well, I don't really know what how much really happened in game 1. It definitely looked like it was more lopsided at the beginning, but like, it was just like suddenly for this one, I don't think I didn't personally realize that both teams were in go mode until they were, I don't know, 5 minutes before finishing the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it kind of creeps up on you in this mode. I guess because you don't really have like a very clear goal. You just kind of eventually figure out, oh, I'm in go mode. And then you just finish. It can be kind of easy to just not realize because you think there's still so much seed left, but then you miss. You actually can just get everything you need. Right, that's Mike's last crystal. We're gonna see if he picks up the silvers before Ganon or not.
Flute to 5? Oh, no, this is correctly. But this is correct what you're supposed to do. Flute to 5. To go get in.
Yeah, and you get to walk between those dogs again.
Exactly. See, boots? Who needs them? Alright, we can do cool things with style.
This is literally the only good screen without boots. Because it's fun to walk between them.
Was there also a screen in the back of Skull Woods or something you can like walk between ropas? I could just be making that up.
No, you can, but you
okay.
you also do that with boots if you don't have tempered.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Mike's with gold sword and no silvers. Oh, okay. Before I say no silvers, let us see what he decides to do. Looks like it's gonna be no silvers.
No, you wanna mirror on top of the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
You save a screen transition if you enter at west or east of Hyrule Castle.
Okay.
Because you're already on the left or right side, right? If you enter the south,
I see. Okay.
you still have to walk to the left, and that's the screen transition. It's much faster to just do it on the overworld.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Okay, I think he's okay. Well, we can time this. He started at 34 when he, I think, started mirroring. So we'll see how much time this takes. And so silvers on hours, let's say like 30, 35 seconds. And we'll see in this case if it's worth it. And if it's about even, then it's definitely worth it because you can mitigate the risk.
Yeah, so we're now at 30 seconds spent. We still have a mirror ahead of us, so it's gonna be a little bit slower.
Okay.
Yeah, we have control back at 13, so that's what, 39 seconds spent.
Okay. I mean, okay, that's fine. Let's just assume that we missed a spin on silverless. Okay, about even.
What if we miss an arrow with our 4 arrows?
I have been told that you do need 5 arrows just to be safe when you bring in to Ganon.
Yeah, P-Train seems to be about a walk to the pyramid behind, but also he doesn't have silvers, and he will not have them since his silvers are in GT.
That's true.
Yeah, the seed could have been much different if the last pennant would have been desert. Because then it was just easily Jillo and P-Train's win.
You mean not desert, right?
Yeah, if the last pennant was not desert but Maya, sorry. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Alright, Mike's definitely taking a save to make sure he lands all 4 silver arrows. But that is sword up for Mike. GG's. For a 2-0 series sweep versus Sphere-FUnity. Very close, considering P-Train is on Ganon right now.
Yeah, GG's. Very nicely done. Proud of my team.
Proud of your team. Winning a boothless seed. Honestly, I think that is a credit to itself.
Yeah, they
Maybe
managed to
Mike
tough
is
it out.
okay. Yeah, but I would be more worried about Teleporter.
At least it was only 50 minutes. That makes it easier.
It's true. Normal forfeit threshold is around an hour.
Exactly. Yeah, looks
Alright.
like we're joined by Mike and Teleporter. GG's, guys.
Yo, guys, GG's.
Nice job.
Welcome back.
GG's.
What did we learn?
I tried to tell Telethar. What about Sphere 1?
Hold on. What did that cost us?
Oh,
I'm just
nothing. But
saying.
it was just very funny.
I skipped it for the appropriate amount of time.
Ah, did anyone see Boots? Is that a thing that exists? Kane or Samara?
They
Kane
have
is on
Kane.
Catfish.
Is it Kane Catfish?
Yeah, I said this earlier as you were finishing up, Mike, but if the last planet had been Maya, this would have been way different. So, best desert always being a pendant.
If I had Kane, I wouldn't have needed to go to GT at all.
Yeah,
It looks
P-Train.
like
Didn't go
didn't,
that
yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, that was stressful. The last 7 minutes of walking slowly towards my goal.
Yeah, after Julo got done. Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, because you just have no metric how much longer the other person's gonna take, right?
No, you don't know if they're like, oh well, we hit go mode and now the other person has 8 dungeons to do, and we have silvers. I guess I'll use finish pad, or they're 2 seconds apart. Like you have no idea.
You're also joined by
that's it.
Julo and PJ. GG's, guys.
GG's.
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 Julo, you never cease to set the forefront of finding progression first. Nice
What did I
cane on
find first this
catfish.
time? Oh. Well, that one was P-Train's idea that I just walk out and do pyramid catfish because he was over in village area.
Yeah, there wasn't really much else to do at that point because he didn't have mirror. He couldn't do swamp.
Oh right, mirrors and brewery. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yola,
That's like-
I found my rupees and rushed Easton just for you. But
Oh.
why was there nothing there? I ask.
It's because it was behind the big key this time.
I see.
You're playing the wrong seed, man. Eastern last seed was popping.
Oh yeah, that was like full on. Oh. How stressful is P-Chain? How stressful is it in the last 6 minutes, 8 minutes?
I really hate it because it's like I almost feel like I want Julo to like look at the stream and be like, nah, dude, don't worry about it. You know, like if I'm behind, I'm behind. You know, like that at that point, there's nothing really to figure out. There's no drama about like average time. It really is like if you're reasonably behind like a good player, there's really not much you can do about it. And, you're just racing in vain, but you don't know it. It is kind of a drag, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, slowly walking. Like will I finish in a second or in 10 minutes? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no concept if I'm behind, ahead, nothing. Oh. But yeah, somehow we locked out again. I guess.
Is it really lucky if you can find booths?
My brain was not there with the bootsless movement. I maybe mirrored a couple times. I didn't want to because I'm just
Oh, yeah,
not pressing a
that
button.
happened.
Was there any plays to be made in this scene at all? Like,
I mean,
I guess skipping catfish because the cane wasn't needed, right?
oh yeah, we wouldn't waste time using cane on switches. Sure, just wasted time doing ice palace
this
the
scene
good
was
old-fashioned way.
crazy fast. Like, there's just I don't know. The pendant player, if you chose the right order of operations, which was basically go to Vu, get your mirror, do Swamp, GT, Eastern, you're just in go mode.
Yeah.
And like other than that, like the crystal player's very easily going to be in go mode. Like the big keys were just free. The like critical pieces of progression were all pretty free. I don't know. This seed had little leeway for doing things you didn't need to do. Everything was just the next thing on the way.
Yeah, our go mode was the knowledge that desert was a pendant. Like when Julo got the pendant
Yeah.
from Lambo, that was our go mode.
Same. Mike needed to go up to Eastern and get his to go up to GT and get his Eastern big.
I needed my Eastern big, bow and skull small.
Yeah.
Yeah, skull small. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
walked all the
exactly
way.
how
I
go
walked
mode.
all the way to skull without the small, so I just mirrored and flew and picked it up from
No.
Dark Cross.
Yeah, I got mine in Hookshot Cave. That Teltha said was in Super Bunny Cave.
Well,
So, there was
in my
moment of
brain, I was like,
confusion.
we don't need skull smalls anymore, surely. So I just like, yeah, it was up there, but whatever. And then he's like, and then at one point he's like, I need a skull small too, and I'm like, there was one there
There
in
somewhere.
Super Buddy.
Yeah.
No, it was also kind of nice that you really didn't have to do like a whole lot in pod or TR this time. So like that, that's a lot of small keys that you really just don't have to worry about. And even then, the pod keys were largely like on the way for the pendant player. I felt like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I only had 2, so I didn't open the front door.
Oh, I didn't get the tempered sword because I was the pendant player. I had 3 keys and I still just said, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to the back for a big chest. I'm not going, like, I don't need this tempered sword. I just went to beat the boss.
We had tempered out of, what was it, Paradox, K45, and Thieves?
Yeah, after Swamp, Mike was basically following me. I had gotten Mushroom on the left side, and so I said, you're doing K45, you still need to grab Ether. I'm just gonna go straight over, turn in Mushroom as quickly as I can to give you Mushroom info before you need to make that decision. So you're doing K45. So he got backup Pod Sword and K45 Sword.
I told Julo to skip the Mushroom. Like there was no way I was gonna get that info in time, and I was like, the odds that burns us are like, at worst it probably just locks us into like force pendant crystal paths. Like I felt like the worst thing it probably could have been was Fire Rod, because we hadn't found Fire. Well, Mithrin Swamp, you couldn't have Fire Rod.
Yeah.
But I thought Fire Rod was probably a worst case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just I had enough lead time to scout it first, but only because I went straight there and skipped 45 and.
No, I told Jula, like, because I found it, like, we were in Swamp simultaneously, and when I pulled it, I was like, unless we find, like, the Thieves Big or the Mitts, we probably need to come back for that. And then, like, 10 seconds later, he's like, I found Thieves Town Big and the Mitts. I was like, oh, well, all right then, we're skipping that.
Nice. Very good. Clearmas, are you happy with the way we found the bow and used the bow?
Yes, despite it being extremely late, it was mostly optimal.
I heard from Telethar he used the bow a lot.
He did, in fact. I was worried about the ice rod, but he did use the bow, correct.
I used the bow a lot, not very well, but also it just doesn't matter because I was first finisher, so like...
You could have farmed some arrows before going into the fight.
True. Oh. Well,
Yep, that's no more duality.
TY
Amen.
Gaming, TY Comms, Tracking. Thank you, Julo, for accommodating so much with your degen hours.
Well, happy to degen.
yeah, this was an easy mode to set up a back-to-back. So I'm glad we can make it work.
I would have back-to-backed any mode.
Oh, not me. Some modes I need to lie down afterwards. But yeah. Thanks, guys.
No,
Good
thanks.
luck in influ keys.
Good luck, Julo. I'm taking that week off.
Yeah, I know I'm on for the rest of the weeks.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I do have to head off, but I appreciate the restream and GG's guys, and good luck in the rest of the league.
Yep, same. See ya.
GG's.
Yeah,
Same.
thank you all. It's a very fun race, despite not having boots. And yeah, it was a very fun series to be able to commentate on. Thank you so much, Nervendoj and Pichu, veteran trackers, MVPs, and just always a pleasure to be around. Thank you, appreciated always. So very very happy. Of course, yeah, thank you, Wallkicks, for doing game 1 with me, Jem for doing game 2 with me. It was fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for asking. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Best
You are
of
my
luck.
teammates finally.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, best of luck, of course, to you guys in the rest of the league. Influ Keys is next week, and I think I see some games kind of trickling in. For the rest of today, lots of matches still on the schedule. There is one on 2 p.m., so about an hour, 45 minutes. Same channel. It is defending champions, Relkin and Muffins, facing off against Garrison and Vex. So that'll be on this one. Then 5 p.m. is Kasten and Jesse versus Amarith and Bread. Same channel, and then Megawatt and Jet versus Tiso and Rotsibus. A Brazilian team. So should be a lot of fun. Lots of rando. Yeah, until then, have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, and time to go lay down. See y'all later.
What about breakfast?
Breakfast is after laying down.
Thank you all.